I'm Dr. Joey Faucette for Faith Positive TV. This week, let's talk about how to conquer your work fears. Our scripture passage for this week is from Matthew 14:27. But Jesus was quick to comfort them. Courage, it's me. Don't be afraid. One of the things I remember from trick-or-treating as a child at Halloween is that my younger brother was scared to death of ghosts, or actually other kids dressed as ghosts. He and I walked from one neighbor's house to another, and all of a sudden he'd scream and cry. I looked around and there was a kid wearing a bed sheet. I hugged him until the ghost walked on by. He feared ghosts because they were dressed in all white like operating room personnel were back then. You see, when he was a baby and later a preschooler, he had surgery a couple of times. All of the OR people wore white, as did the doctors and nurses. He associated their white dress and the white sheets of the ghosts with pain. You know, it's easy to associate the ghost of previous pain with present opportunities. If you've been fired or laid off from work, your fear cranks up with an imagined provocation from your new employer. Pick any number of previous painful work woes and you fear their occurrence again. The disciples, several of whom were experienced fishermen, find themselves tossed and battered in a boat out on the sea. They had reason to fear, and even more reason when about 4 o'clock in the morning they see what appears to be a ghost walking on the water toward them. Matthew writes they were scared out of their wits. Well, what happens next is what you can experience the next time the ghost of work past rears its ugly head on your job. First, notice Jesus comforts in fear. Jesus moves quickly to the disciples to comfort them. They figure out he isn't a ghost, and they settle down. Jesus has that effect. He comforts in the midst of your fear. My brother and the disciples imagine something horrible was about to happen, just like you do on the job when a contract falls through or your boss gives you a sideways glance. In those moments of fear, look for Jesus. Say, "Help me, Jesus." His presence comforts you in the chaos. Notice next that Jesus encourages in the midst of fear. About the time the disciples experience Jesus' presence, he speaks to them, "Courage, it's me." Jesus encourages them. He gives them courage. Courage is the ability to act when you're afraid. You see, fear paralyzes, courage motivates. As you ask Jesus to help you, he encourages you. That is, gives you the courage to do what you think you can't. He speaks, "Courage, it's me," which implants the courage you require to face down the ghost walking toward you in the midst of work chaos. So after you say, "Help me, Jesus," listen for his voice speaking, "Courage, it's me," or something similar into your heart or mind. Thirdly, notice Jesus conquers fear. Jesus comforts and encourages you in the midst of your fear prompted by the ghost of work past. Once you ask for help and Jesus encourages you, your fear disappears because Jesus conquers your fear. You remember how I hugged my brother, comforted him, told him that he would be okay? That's when he moved forward to get more candy from the next neighbor. Jesus conquers Peter's fear in the boat, and he gets so excited he jumps out of the boat and walks a few steps on the sea with Jesus. So what is Jesus calling you to do once he conquers your fear? The ghost of work past wants to paralyze you from doing God's will at work. Stare him down. Jump out of the boat. Live into your calling at work, employing your divine design. Comforted, encouraged, and with your fear conquered, increase your faith with greater joy at work so you love God and others more and work faith positive in a negative, ghost-filled world. For Faith Positive TV, I'm Dr. Joey Faucette.
Get your free sample chapters of Dr. Joey's #1 Amazon bestseller, Faith Positive in a Negative World, at getpositive.today/faith-positive.